stone. At the start of the year, the Druids sent their armies into Spiral. Beneath the ever-present shadow of the Black Plateau, they conquered Ostery and claimed the heart of Spiral itself. They even managed to press down into Apolis on the southern coast before retreating back into Zenith. 6 months later, Spiral is invaded again, but from the opposite direction. A month after the summer equinox, reports came from contested Apolis of several thousand orcs of the Broken Shore crossing through the southern mountains into Spiral. They moved cautiously, taking pains to avoid any imperial entanglement. Technically, the Grendel still control Apulian, despite there being both an imperial and a Druid presence in the region, and they were able to move through the coastal area unimpeded. Some of the soldiers are clearly here to set up a base of operations in Apolis. They divert away from the main column towards the town. There are some Imperial forces still in the coastal settlement, but their supplies are already strained by the presence of Druid guerrillas. The Empire is forced to abandon their positions and draw back to more defensive spires along the western borders of the region. The banners of the brine turtles and the black eels now fly over Apulian. The main thrust of the invasion is to the northeast into Apstrus. It was here that the Grendel suffered their crushing defeat at the hands of the Imperial forces during the Battle of Solemn's Doubt. Now they have returned in force. In the absence of any significant defenders, they quickly and methodically take control of the region. It's not a populous region, far from the block of protective spells used to allow mortals to dwell under the oppressive shadow of the Screed becoming unreliable. The bulk of those who've returned to spires there have already retreated westward when the Druid invasion cut the territory in half. Those who remain, some are now sealed in their spires, sending desperate messages via the Helopticon, while others have been overrun by Orc soldiers. With no one to resist them, the Orcs quickly conquer Apstrus, and with it the balance of power in Spiral shifts against the Empire. With only 3 regions remaining in Imperial hands, Spiral ceases to be part of the Empire. It is not a Grendel territory any more than it is a Druid territory, but it's not Imperial. Once Apstrus is secure, the Grendel shift their focus back towards Apulian, establishing a command post in the town of Apolis and a second on the southern border near one of the large passes back into Meyrive. There is little doubt the Orcs of the Broken Shore have suffered for their invasion. Like the Druids before them, they may not have encountered serious opposition from the Empire, but the Black Plateau inflicts suffering of its own on any mortal who spends extended periods of time away from the safety of the Urizen spires. Whatever else they may claim in Spiral, the Grendel armies have also gathered a harvest of madness, despair, savagery and death. The Grendel do not move unnoticed through Urizen. There are scouts even in Apstrus. Hard-bitten Urizen, veterans of the war in Spiral, elite sentinels equipped with magical items that allow them to resist the grim oppression that hangs over Spiral like a cloud of insanity. They say the Orcs have brought powerful magicians of their own with them, and confirm that whatever else they are doing, the Grendel are taking precautions. Shortly before the autumn equinox, the Helopticon messages from the southeastern corner of the Empire confirm that healing rain has begun to fall across Spiral, providing some limited protection from the worst effects of the awakened Black Plateau. There is also hints of powerful enchantments on the 2 Orc armies, most likely from the Day Realm, that grant them additional discipline and bring with it a particular sense of calm. Whatever else it does, it clearly helps to mitigate some of the worst effects of the oppressive aura that hangs over Spiral. With the autumn equinox approaching, the situation is that Spiral is no longer an Imperial territory. Most of the people are centred along the eastern border in Atiri, Sinon and Akara, turning their attention to the protection of their spires and sending increasingly worried messages to their cousins in Redoubt and Morrow, fearful for the future. Still, when the Empire finally liberated Spiral in the summer of 382 YE, they lost 1,500 soldiers in a single season just to the influence of the Black Plateau. The Urizen huddled in their spires may be unhappy that the territory has fallen to the barbarians again, but it is hard to blame the Empire for its reticence to send armies into the haunted wastelands of Spiral. Game information: Spiral. The Druids control Screed and Osseri. The Empire control Ankara, Ateri and Sinion. The Grendel control Apstrus and Apulion. Nobody controls the territory, and Spiral is no longer imperial, meaning among other things that it cannot be targeted from the Imperial Regio, and the senator for Spiral has lost their seat. Apulion is contested by 3 forces. The Grendel control the region, but their hold is somewhat precarious. The Druge is halfway towards claiming the region, but have no active forces in the territory, as far as anyone can tell. The Empire is barely present. They have little more than a toehold in the region. With a loss of Spiral, the Citadel Guard are once again lacking in support. Consequently, after the autumn equinox, they will begin to decline once again. Finally, the remaining citizens of Spiral are forced to turn their attention towards the defence of their spires. As such, the Duyen of the Spire's rate of codification has dropped back from 20 to 15 until such time as Spiral is an imperial territory once more.